Hi, all.
Can you hear us, Jan?
Yep, you're good.
Good. Yeah, you're doing all the cooking around it. Your home.
Some of it. He's here. He's always here. My wife retired as well. She took
Yeah, she cooks, do you do the dishes?
I do often. But this one, new invention, they were this one.
She said she doesn't cook it. She can do the dishes.
Oh,
She's the dishwasher.
Whatever I need to do.
And she.
You all right on that? Take care of your
Oh, thank you. A lot of discussion of that and stuff. Just watch it, baby. I keep talking to those people that want me to leave. Let me know if that's needed.
Well, I'm listening now because officers asking for names.
All right, I'd like to get everybody's attention, please. Before I start the meeting tonight, I'd like to introduce our new commissioner, Matt Erickson.
How you doing?
You know everybody else here. Maria Fidalgo, Helen Borbas, myself, Joan Taft, you know Chrissy, and Carmelita and Sue Nastri. So we'll be beginning in about another minute to start the meeting. All right, it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to begin the meeting, and please rise for the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance to the flag.
To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the approval of the minutes of September 8th. Will somebody make a motion?
Make the motion, we approve the, excuse me, accept the minutes.
Second the motion?
Thank you. All in favor?
All right.
Executive Director's report.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I read.
All drawdowns of HUD funds for capital and operating dollars have been completed for the month of September for our federal complexes. Move-ins, we had 1 new move-in in our public housing complexes, 4 move-outs, and 2 transfers within Naugatuck. Within the complexes, sorry. Housing Choice Voucher Program, we had 4 move-ins, 5 move-outs, and we're currently up to number 40 on the Housing Choice Voucher waiting list. We're kind of at a standstill with our voucher program because we do not have a lot of properties in town that are available within our fair market rents, the allowable rent amounts. So we're kind of waiting for more inventory or for landlords to negotiate down. We're trying to negotiate for lower rents so we can get some Section 8 residents into those apartments. George B. Lewis 1 and 2 complexes, only one bid was received for repaving of the George B. Lewis 1 site. It's getting late in the season for the paving, so we decided to re-advertise for bidders during the winter for springtime paving. We're sending a letter to the bidder explaining that we needed to get more bids before we could make a decision, so we're gonna go out to rebid. Hopefully, right after the holidays, so we can get it done in the spring first thing. Site contractor has been delayed in completing grading of the hill and seeding, paying the affected areas of the lawn. Carmelina Goncalves and I once again addressed visitors and residents parking on the sides of the driveway at the GBL site and tenant parking disputes. There have been several conflicts with respect to new residents parking in what existing tenants assume to be their parking spots. So we're trying to address those issues and just encourage the residents to get along and work it out amongst each other. Daily meal services at GBL2 via Western Connecticut Agency, Area Agency on Aging has resumed on October 4th, 2021 at the GBL2 site, Monday through Friday. We have no schedule with respect to carving though as of yet. Robert E. Hutt Congregate Complex parking lot paving is complete. Building renovations are nearly complete, with the exception to back-ordered stoves. Tenants are receiving new refrigerators and stoves due to energy upgrades portion of the DOH grant funds. New kitchen cabinets were inspected by the architect, and the contractor is working on minor corrections. Paul also repaired underground wire break at Oak Terrace to restore pole lights between buildings 12 and 28 at Oak Terrace. New lamp post is being installed behind building 19 area to illuminate the sidewalks. Paul also tagged the trees for which are losing the bulk of acorns. So these can be the first trees removed during the winter. Maintenance continues to blow the sidewalks daily at Oak Terrace to remove acorns from sidewalks. Paul is tagging trees that are dropping a lot of acorns so they can be removed during winter, as I said. Miscellaneous, Carmelina and myself attended the Con Narrow Fall Convention training on September 27th through 29th. We attended various training sessions that they had, such as workers' comp, coverage for housing authorities, compliance issues in public housing, problem areas and rent calculations, evictions during COVID-19, and Con OSHA requirements. They were very informative and enabled us to discuss common concerns and problems with other housing authorities, which is always great to see how other agencies handle the issues that we're going through. Our auditors performing field work in NHA actually this week. And we all were reviewing files prior to the auditor visit. And our budget preparation is in progress with our fee accountant Sandra. So that's anticipated to be complete at the end of the month. And that's it. Sorry, my nose is running. Had allergies.
All right, maintenance department.
Maintenance department report for September. Unit renovated total 4 were completed. All sites were mowed 2 times in September. All the laundry rooms and common areas were cleaned daily at all sites. Completed 14 after-hour calls, 4 with no dispatch. Completed 109 work orders. Laid in from work, cleaned laundry rooms at Oak Terrace. They also delivered monthly food bank delivery of boxes to NHA residents at Oak Terrace, Congregate, and GBL. Blew sidewalks daily at Oak Terrace to remove acorns. Dug the trench and repaired the wiring pole lights at Oak Terrace, buildings 11 and 28, 12 and 28. Rehung handicap parking signs at Hutt after the paving was completed. Moved the old stoves from Hutt to storage at Oak Terrace. And fixed headlight on the 2009 Chevy Silverado truck. And harness for light bulb. Replaced water pump in the Chevy Impala. Replaced brake light bulb, 2006 Chevy Silverado. And probably much more that I probably missed.
We'll have the police department report. Please.
Good evening. Not a ton of activity last month. For 480 Millville Ave, congregate housing, there were 11 ambulance calls, 1 fire call, which was not a fire. George B. Lewis 1 had 3 ambulance calls. George B. Lewis 2 had an administrative call, which was me being at the meeting, an ambulance call and a vandalism, which was somebody's screen was cut. It doesn't look like there was anything beyond that, though, nothing really broke in, or there wasn't multiple screens, so we're not sure. Lewis Circle, just 1 ambulance call. And right here at Oak Terrace, there were 42 calls, 8 ambulance calls, 2 animal complaints, which I'll get to. 1 attempt to locate, 2 general complaints, 2 noise complaints, 22 patrol checks. Somebody's car was repossessed, a suspicious person, vandalism that was also not a vandalism, and 1 welfare check. So for the before I get to the animal calls, just real quick to follow up with Osborne Road. They've ordered a speed limit sign, and they're having the speed boxes scheduled to be placed there. But I don't know exactly when or where. So,
Yeah,
so,
thank you very much.
And distracted driving enforcement starts October 15th. It runs from October 15th through October 31st. And New Haven Road is one of our favorite spots, so you'll see us out there in that area. So, for the animal complaints, 1 was just a barking dog in the area that they couldn't find, so I don't know that that was necessarily in the complex or not in the complex. The other thing, though, was a report of neglect. Animal control has responded. They basically determined that the dog, the cat stays outside, the dog might be pregnant, 1 dog in the home, they're worried about the cat. So animal control made a plan. I believe they've been in touch with you, Christine. So they're gonna be
And
coming.
Maritza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So they're gonna be coming up here and I guess going, checking all the animals in the complex for vaccination status and just basically giving an overall, just giving everybody overall,
So they just want,
instructions on how to properly care and maintain for your animals if you have them here. And, make sure that everybody's abiding by the housing authority rules.
Was that ever done before, though?
I don't think animal
No.
control has ever come up here.
Never was done.
no, they weren't, but now, they realized when they looked up the codes that it is considered common area, so
So,
they're now enforcing it. So a lot of people are calling us with their, because they've licensed their dogs, which is great. Keep a copy, because if the dog warden does come, they want you to have it on hand. You can also, you don't have to rush to bring us a copy, but when you do your recertification, you should include it in your file, in your patent documents, so we can put it in your file.
Sorry, can I ask a question on that particular topic? When there is a complaint, who is the complainant?
Complaint
Who makes the complaint against the dog that's running around? That's my question. My question is, I can complain about somebody who doesn't have a dog. And then you've got to investigate it, wasting your time, his time, the dog warden's time. But where is the justification? That's my question.
Well, if a tenant complains to the dog warden, he's gonna investigate it.
Yeah, I understand it. That's what I'm saying too. But
They want to know who made it.
complaint now?
It isn't that the person that made the complaint itself. They want to know the rest of them who made it. You get what I'm saying?
Can we have that name on the dog or, whoever makes the complaint? You're supposed to have, no letter, you just like time.
Basically, that
But, yeah.
One at a time, please.
So, thank you very much. So the thing is, the person that is accused of a crime
Mhm.
or an infraction should be able to face that person that accused me. That's my point.
No, I mean, if you're
Yes, yes.
violating your lease,
Chris,
then you would deal with management. If you're violating the town's pet ordinance or pet violations, you deal with the dog
Well,
warden.
what I was gonna say is, well, I'll interject. From the criminal aspect, if they're gonna receive an infraction or there's some sort of law enforcement action taken, then yes, you're right, you have the right to face your accuser, absolutely.
Okay.
So there would be a complaint attached to the
exactly,
complaint.
okay, and that's what.
However, whatever the housing authority does with their private rules, is not the same as
Okay,
our
so
rules.
this,
So
so you're
it would
saying
depend on which sanction was.
So,
So we don't have actually the rights to the law in here. to be signed it.
we gave up the rights to the law. We signed the lease and violated theirs.
No, because, well, they can't write you an infraction or, so like, if we're taking enforcement action, you still have your rights.
I just want.
Yeah, you still have your constitutional rights,
Of
yeah.
course, yeah, I just want to clarify that, I want to clarify. So if I have my constitutional rights,
Mhm.
then it can't be really held against me unless they come up with an accuse.
Right, like what
Okay,
they do
yeah,
is, what they do is what they do. I don't get involved in how they conduct their investigation.
Okay, I get that, I get that, I just want to clarify. I want to clarify in front of people, so we know where we're going. Okay, thank you very much.
So,
Oh, no, we're gonna do that under new business. New business. Yeah. He's finished. Any questions for Officer? Here. That's it. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's no old business and new business we have to. Yeah, that's the thing we have to do.
Well, someone has to make a motion to fill the vacancy of a chairperson.
Okay. Somebody has to make a motion to approve the new vacancy we have here. According to our
Set
bylaws,
nomination.
we have to have a nomination to someone to make a nomination for chairperson. Because the vacancy was a chairperson.
Well, I will make a nomination for Joan Tapp. Me too.
Second.
Right, it all has to be voted on. Yeah, everybody has to say their vote.
Okay. Chairman.
For the 3 months until you have to fill it for the election for the unexpired term of the office. So the unexpired term of the office is 3 months, it's the October, November, December, because we have election of new officers in December. So you have to make a motion for the vacancy that
So
we
you have
have.
to vote for.
Okay, Phil, so one copy.
Yeah. Yep.
Second it, and then it's unanimous. Well,
Yes.
everybody would say, okay, Sue, everybody.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Now we have to go for vice chair.
What?
We have to do for vice chair. We should go check it.
Oh, the vice chair. Yeah, that's right. So I would be the vice, yeah, because I was the vice chairman. It gets a little complicated.
Yeah.
But the chairperson, I was the vice chairman. So now
Now you'll
I'll
have
be
to
the
amend the
chairman.
agenda.
So somebody has to make a motion for the vice chairman.
To accept nominations for
We
the
don't have to accept it
vacant
as
vice.
an interim person.
Yes.
Yes.
It has to come
Vice
from the
chair.
board.
Didn't hear a day today.
Yeah, she just said, oh, yes. That talk louder, they can't hear back there.
Oh, okay, well,
There was
then
one
ask, I'm
finger.
sorry, I know I'm not talking to her. There's a vacancy of the chairperson. And now we did that, they nominated me, and it was unanimous, so now we have to go for somebody for vice chair.
Yeah, I do.
Nomination.
Okay, speak up.
Speak up.
Okay, I nominated Helen Forbes for,
Vice chairman.
I mean, vice chairman, vice chairman.
Vice chairman. Okay,
For a second?
I'll second it.
Matt, second it. Matt, second it. All in favor, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, everybody. Thank you, thank you.
Is it unanimous?
Yeah. And that's it now, but now her, what she know, she was the assistant treasurer, right? Nobody asked to be assistant treasurer.
Oh, so now.
Lord, move it back.
So that's gonna have to.
So now
Not much of a
Matt,
choice, do
so-
we?
Yes,
so you gotta
that'll be
make a
me.
motion
Well,
to
I'll make a motion to, put my, Matt Erickson, I'll nominate her. I'll nominate, yeah.
You're making the motion, John?
Yes, I'll make a motion. I'll second it. To, make Matt, the new person, as assistant treasurer. Assistant treasurer,
And the second?
second. Somebody
Helen
second it.
second.
Helen? Okay, thank you.
All right, now.
Yeah, you're still treasurer. He's gonna be
Yes, you're
assistant.
the treasurer, you're the treasurer. And she's
He's the
the
assistant
assistant. So everybody has a title now.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, now that's all under new business. Now, the next thing under new business is the proposed flat rent increases effective January 1st, 2022. And the first resolution is 326, George B. Lewis and George B. Lewis 1 and 2 complexes. And I think I have it.
Yeah, I just put chairperson at the bottom. So I wasn't sure who was gonna be chairperson.
Now, where's that paper?
Excuse me,
Here's the
we're
resolution here.
public area
All right.
back here.
Oh, okay.
Talk louder.
Okay,
We're on new business now, and we're looking at resolution 326, George B. Lewis 1 and 2 elderly complexes. Flat rent increase proposed for January 1st, 2022.
now, Chris, do you want to explain that?
Sure. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people panic when they see this. Let me explain what HUD requires us to do as an agency with federal housing. We need to ensure that we are charging tenants that have substantial income or income to support at least 80% of fair market rent. So that's where we were at $690 for a 1-bedroom with heat and hot water. Based upon the current market data, it's almost $900. So HUD dictates that we do at least 80% of that, which we calculate at $740. So if you have the income to support 30% or more of your income would warrant $740 or more, you pay $740. It's a ceiling to protect those people. Say you have 30% of your income will be $800. You're only going to pay $740. However, if 30% of your income is $400, you still only pay $400. No one ever pays more than 30% of their monthly income towards rent for federal housing.
I have a question.
Yes, George.
If
Mhm.
there is a change or whatever you say, like you're saying, you can be allowed that. But you sign a contract, which is the lease, and the lease is good from, let's say, June to June,
Mhm.
in midterm. That, you say you can raise it without giving.
No, what would happen, George, is I say we give an effective date of January 1st. However, whatever month the tenant's recertification is when we would reanalyze their rent.
So it would be good if it was in mid.
Correct. Whenever their anniversary date is.
Your rent is stationary.
Correct. Until your anniversary date.
Good. Now, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened last year was that because the state said that they could raise the base rent.
Mhm.
Remember this?
Mhm.
And then the board immediately passed on, whether it was $5 or $6 or whatever.
Mhm.
We did not have a letter prior to that, at least a week, and we did not have a sit down to see if it was okay to raise it for that, any particular tenant. Some tenants can absorb that. Other people, it became a hardship. And it was immediately, here's the paper, sign it and return it. That's not a go. That's not a go. What you're just telling me is that was
See-
not legal.
Yeah, base rent is a little bit different. What we're doing here is called flat rent.
But I don't.
Which is a
It's
cap?
raise in the
Mhm.
rent, Chris.
Yeah,
It's a raise in the rent.
I think he's.
And that
Yes.
said was, my rent was this much until this time,
Mhm.
this time to this time. In the middle, you can't raise it.
yeah.
It's solid, no matter what, base
Mhm.
rent, you know, who's the state to tell me or tell you to raise our rent for that amount of time? When you sign the lease, you're in a contract, that's
Mhm.
a legal and
Yeah.
binding contract.
Now, when John D'Amelia or one of those agency raises their base rent,
I don't
They-
care what they do.
no, I'm just saying they are supposed to provide you 90 days notification,
Exactly.
et
And that was
cetera.
not given to us at that
And if our
time.
agency is raising it, we will do a hearing like,
Yes.
if this is
You did-
approved
you
today-
did- My point is, you did not do that. Now, is the housing authority gonna return that money?
I'll have to look into it. You're talking about last year
Yeah,
for,
well, yeah, the raise of rent, you know, because there's a lot of people in here who don't understand that, who don't understand the law. So what they'll do is immediately sign it and then get sucked into whatever they have to pay
Mhm.
in excess of what their lease was. And that, it seems to be like the rule of thumb here. You know?
I don't believe we had a base rent increase here last year for
Well,
Terrace.
before, whenever it was, you remember.
About a year and a half
I
ago.
remember.
Yeah, not last year, though. It was,
And like I said, $5 or $6, it's not up to the state.
Mine went up $900.
There you go.
$900 mine went up.
that's because you're paying income-based rent.
That's ridiculous.
It's income-based rent, 30% of your income.
And-
See, this is state housing. State housing, there is no flat rent. So regardless of what your income is,
When did that happen?
flat, okay, rental ceilings, what we're voting on here is for federal housing. That's a Department of Housing and Urban Development
So
regulation.
we're not the same as down. the-
No, you're not the same as, the George B. Lewis complexes. Those are
Okay,
federally,
Okay, the other thing, the other issue is that they're allowed to have,
You just said that.
burgers. They're allowed to have this.
okay, that has nothing to do with this, so maybe we should save that for
Well,
public
no,
comment.
there was a quote from a person that we both know, and that quote is, well, that's a community, this is just housing.
Okay, I think your items are for public comment. What we're working on right now is the,
Okay, well, I'll bring it back up.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But I'm explaining I'm explaining the proposed flat rent increase for federal complexes. So it only applies to a couple of people here that might live at George B. Lewis, 1 or 2, or Lewis Circle Federal Housing
I'm
Complexes.
talking about-
That's all it is, yeah.
Now, if this is approved today by our board of directors, now in turn, every tenant gets a notification stating that this is proposed. There will be a hearing, which is, it's actually effective. It'll be effective for January, but we will have a hearing on site for all the residents to come and get this explanation in full. Like I just explained to you now, this will be explained to the residents at the community rooms. And they have ample time to be warned of it. So this will be January. We're doing it now, so we're giving them enough notice.
What was our last raise?
2000.
About a year and a half ago, right?
No, it was longer.
I got it, please.
Not your, no, the flat rent.
I went from.
Bear with me, I have it.
625 to 690.
We just had ours.
January 2019, you went up to 619. 690, I'm sorry. And it was increased before that, 2017. So it's generally every 2 years I have to reevaluate it. I have to look at it every year.
Well, I remember last, the last raise, you had said that HUD came up with the idea, well, we never raised anybody for the last 10 years.
Mhm,
I remember that. And so they wanted to do it then.
mhm,
And I really had no problem with that.
mhm.
I made my due diligence and
Yeah.
did what you wanted. The only thing that bothers me,
Mhm.
it doesn't hurt me, it just bothers me, that people like me will always have to pay
Because you have the income.
And understanding there
Mhm.
are people that don't make that kind of money.
Mhm.
Okay, but it's just us people, us guys,
Mhm.
who have to pay the brunt of
Mhm.
the rates.
And it's no way punishing you. What
I
it's doing is it's
understand.
protecting you.
No,
Because typically, if we were to charge you 30% of your income, you would probably pay more than 740. So they're protecting you by putting that cap on there, but they're raising the cap saying, okay, you can afford to pay a little bit more. Because if you look at the market, like if you were to go out in the newspaper and look for a one-bedroom apartment with heat and hot water included, you're not gonna find anything for 740.
No,
It's more like 950, 1,000. So that's where they're looking at the comparison saying, okay,
Yeah.
740 is 80% of that market. And that's, a fair amount.
no, I just want to
Because-
understand, I got no problem
It's
paying. it.
designed for low income. So what it does is the people that don't have the income get the assistance. If you don't, they don't force you to leave, but you have to pay a higher amount.
Can I claim them on my income tax?
okay, I like to say something about what you're talking about. Okay, the way the economy is right now, food going up, gas going up, everything up. So why come they don't have some passion on us? Because we got to spend more money on gas, food, electricity, all this stuff here. So why is it that our rent keep going up? Why come they just set it at a basic thing until the pandemic come down? Yeah, lock it in. Yeah, lock it in. Because
This is, I'm sorry, Betty, this isn't, affecting like, base rent, what you folks are paying. This is for the federal housing and there's a ceiling like a cap.
I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
but I'm
So
saying
that's
that-
what's going up. We're not talking about raising base rents right now. No.
I know what I'm saying though, they should have some passion over the people.
Mhm,
Okay, all this money that they claim that we don't have,
mhm.
but it's sending money over to a third world country to help them out.
That's
Okay,
HUD.
always good, that's
Your
always
beef
good.
is with HUD, not me.
So good.
Yeah.
But no, take care of home
Yeah.
first, before you.
We're
send-
still never charging anybody more than 30% of their income.
Yeah,
So
but-
whatever their income is per month, they have 70% for their other items, which would be their shelter, their food, their clothing, things like that. Utilities are included in the rent, so they don't have to worry about that.
I see where you're going. I was thinking, not included in the rent.
Yeah, we're,
Well, we're not talking about people from the other side, we're talking about Oak Terrace.
no, yeah, but we're not, what we're voting on right now is not for Oak Terrace. This is for federal housing.
Right. Okay, I understand that too, but another thing too, is anybody else is here that, from the other sites?
Yes,
One.
yes, we're, yeah, and they are posting comments, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying the inflationary doesn't have anything to do with what our base rate is?
No.
We have to embrace it, we have to embrace it. You know what, I'm gonna say after.
Yeah. We're not even talking about raising your base rent yet, no.
No, but you're raising the rent, no matter what it is.
Of course, your rent is income based, so if you get a cost of living increase from social security, your rent goes up a little bit.
Yeah, but you know
It's
what?
income based.
So why is that? Because they want to keep down the damn plantation, that's why.
All right, we're gonna go.
Okay, let's,
Continue.
yeah, can we vote?
Thank you for stopping.
All right. This is resolution 326.
Mhm.
George B. Lewis at 1 and Elderly 2 complexes, flat rent increase effective January 1st, 2022. Whereas the Naugatuck Housing Authority is required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development to establish flat rents equivalent to 80% of current HUD fair market rent charge for comparable nearby units in the private unassisted rental market for federally subsidized housing properties. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of the Naugatuck Housing Authority do hereby authorize the flat rent increase from $690 to $700 per month, means a $50 increase at the George B. Lewis 1 and 2 elderly housing complexes in accordance with the Department of Housing and Urban Development requirements. Whereas as follows, now this is a roll call vote. Myself, Commissioner Maria Fidalgo.
It's your vote.
You're voting on this? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Helen Borbas.
Yes.
Sue Nastri.
Yes.
Matthew Erickson.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now we'll go on to the next resolution, which is Lewis Circle Complex, flat rent increase.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same
You don't
explanation.
have to explain that.
Mhm.
You do?
No, it's the same thing for every house.
All right, we'll do the next one. All right, whereas the Naugatuck Housing Authority is required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development to establish flat rents equivalent to 80% of current HUD fair market rent charge for comparable nearby units in the private unassisted rental market for all federally subsidized housing properties. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of the Naugatuck Housing Authority do hereby authorize the flat rent increase that follows for the Lewis Circle Family Housing Complex in accordance with the Department of Housing and Urban Development requirements. 2-bedroom, increase from $850 to $950 per month, which is a $100 increase. 3-bedroom increase from $1,000 to $1,050 per month, $50 increase. And now we have to vote. Is there any questions? I don't think anybody's here from.
No, Lewis Circle.
All right. Myself, Commissioner Maria Fidalgo. Helen Borbas.
Yes.
Susan Nastri.
Yes.
And Nat Erickson.
Yes.
Okay. it's unanimous.
Signing on, John? No.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Now we'll go down to public comment, but I want to make, before we start. First of all, I'm going to say if we have any commotion here today, I asked the officer here, Derek, to escort you people out of the room because I'm not going to put up with any baloney here today. I'm sorry. All right, and now I want to, before that, I also want to say something about our commissioner that was here before, Terry Swanson, who's sitting in the audience. I want to commend her for all the years of service you put in for the housing. And we all appreciate all your service and the hard work you did for all those years. How many years, Terry?
25.
25. Wow, it's a long time.
I'm retiring.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, Terry.
And the other person I'd like to say is to my daughter, Lori Taft Jackson, who's the mayor's assistant there, deputy mayor. She's going to be leaving politics for a while. So I want to also give her a little round of applause. She won't be coming to any meetings either anymore, so.
I'm bringing you, so I'll be here.
The accident of a few months ago, but I'm glad I'm here, believe me. And before I say, everybody better, when you get up in age, you better get your button. This button saved my life. I'll tell you the truth. I fell down the stairs and thank God I had that button. They came right away, so that's the only thing I wanted to say. All right, public comment, and I'm gonna tell you again, if anybody disrupts the meeting, you'll be escorted outside. Thank you.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, sure.
I have a terrible problem, okay? Yeah, it's not meant to bring anybody any problems or housing. But our water, it's all messed up.
What do you mean?
Our water contains
Mold,
it contains mold.
black mold.
Uh-huh.
It's coming right out of the faucet. I have a video.
One at a time, let her talk.
She has a video that you see clearly what's happening with the water. And we have rust in the water. I mean, the rust comes out, dirt comes out in the bathroom, all in the, where the water is coming out, all that comes out of there is.
This is the first time I hear about that.
I don't know because we complained
Can I
about it
comment?
before.
The
Yes.
whole building was tested
And we provided you with the test results.
No,
The water company provides the water. We don't have wells
if
here.
I have problems, and I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's
But
okay.
if I have problems with my water or the building where that I live in,
Mhm,
the wisest thing to do is to come get water from there,
mhm.
not from where you give it to them. You understand me? So this is what's happening, and it's really, I have to buy water. You know, I buy water for everything. The only thing I use it for is for bath. But, you know, you can see what's in the water.
They tested the water in your building,
I didn't-
coming out of your faucets, and they did come and they collected.
Okay, but why is there mold in our water then? There has to be a reason why we have mold in our water. If the water's so good, why do we have mold in the water? And why I've been sick as a dog for the past 3 weeks, and I have, gone to the gastrologist next week, because they took a stool specimen, and if it's contaminated, which the doctor thinks it is, you guys are in trouble, because it's from contaminated water. Because every time that we drink it, me and my boyfriend drink it, we get deathly sick. We have diarrhea all day long, we're throwing up all day long. And then Saturday, I'm trying to make coffee for the next morning, and I got mold coming out of my faucet.
She has a-
I put it on video, you know? This isn't the first time. We got the termites like 3 months ago. I've called and called, complained. Yeah, then finally we got rid of them. The mold situation is out of this world. I mean, black mold like crazy. You know, it's just ridiculous. And with this water, I mean, we're constantly sick, constantly.
Show it to them.
I mean, do you
Yeah,
want
the
to see
problem
it?
is
Do you wanna see it?
We're not the,
Show it to them.
yeah, I mean, I'll look at it, but basically, the water company came and tested the water. They do their independent testing.
Well, then can I suggest something?
Mhm.
If that's the case, can they come to my apartment and her apartment and take water? And then we're aware of it.
They did.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Mhm, they did. They
I'm not
came out
aware.
and did.
What's black mold coming out of the faucet? See it? This was Saturday night. This is, yeah, coming out.
That's your spigot, that's your, that's.
The faucet, because your spigot, like this.
Spigot is
blocked.
Yeah, so maybe your aerator needs to be cleaned or something?
Wait a minute, please. Come on. One at a time, please.
We can solve this problem, you know, we can get a sample of our water and we'll take it to the office if we want. But at least we know that it's from that area.
But the water company will not honor it if they don't collect it, because they don't
Well,
know.
fine, they can collect all the water they
Mhm.
want. They're gonna know immediately.
Did they go into apartments?
Yeah.
Or just the outside water?
No, they went and checked it in the apartments.
They didn't come to my
They didn't
apartment.
come to my apartment either.
That's not true.
What building is that?
Building 3.
Building three.
I provided you both with letters from the water company, correct?
Yeah, but it-
Okay,
I
so,
don't think that's, to me, how could they say that the water is clean when we're living it and we're seeing it? Okay, so, you know,
well, that could be, I mean, if she's got an aerator on her faucet that
Polly
needs.
just put it on for me this morning, so I'm gonna see what happens from there on.
Okay, so
Polly
that's,
just
that's
put-
prior to him changing the aerator?
Yeah,
Okay.
Polly just put it on.
And if
this
there's a
morning.
black ring in your toilet, that is not dirty water. That is just water in a toilet tends to make mold
no.
unless you scrub it. You have to like swish your toilet with the toilet brush cleaner. Otherwise, it does make a black ring. Water is water. It will create mold if it's not clean.
It's not, I'm sorry, it's not, I'm very uptight about this, that's
Mhm.
why I'm like, you know, in the bathroom, you can tell the mold, okay, the orange, the mold, okay, and then
Orange.
when you clean it, because I clean my bathroom, that I scrub, all that comes out is dirt. Please, because this is something.
Did we ask the water
we're
company just to come and test her apartment again?
Yeah.
That would take care of their anxiety.
And that's probably.
Okay.
You know, they get swollen by. And the crap can come. I think the discussion was more.
Okay. I'll contact the water company.
We're gonna have your apartment tested.
Thank you.
All right,
And her-
Oh, Marissa.
all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Melissa.
Interject. First of all, the first time that Chris, Stacy informed me, or Carmen Tracy informed me of the issue of the water again was today.
Okay,
And immediately I sent out maintenance to go and inspect that. In reference to, is it 3B?
Yes.
3B has never informed me at any time that she has had issue with water in her unit.
Well,
So
then
therefore,
next
hold
door-
on, and let me speak. Therefore, I cannot send maintenance to go and inspect an issue that you're finding in your unit if you don't inform me of that issue.
Well, why didn't they inform her? Why didn't
Well, you know what's
Marissa.
happening, it's all in that building, okay? So they started helping her, and she was complaining about the water, and I told her, that's why I'm here today. I told her if it's necessary for me to tell them what we're going through, because it's not just me, it's the other women too, and the whole thing, the whole apartments that are there.
and now you have to have the public housing manager, because no one called and complained, just the one tenant. So I reached out to
But
the
the
wa-
last time we complained, they
Marissa,
sent us
did
a
they
letter,
complain
like you
that-
said, saying that the water, they had checked the water, and the water was fine.
She said, I'm gonna run this down. And I never heard anything after that, so now you're saying,
I started buying water, I can't.
okay.
I got sick with that water.
We have a 5-minute limit too. That's it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I now live in building 9. When I was in building 2, I also had black mold coming out of my faucet. And I talked to one of the maintenance guys and they said, oh no, that's alum or something. Well, as far as I know, alum is white. And black mold is black mold. It's called out for a reason. Now, just recently, well, now I'm in building 9, and recently, the gentleman that came around to do the state inspections, I guess. And we said something about bottled, I started buying bottled water. I wasn't gonna boil it, you know? So, he made a comment about, he says, oh, no, you can't drink the water in here. He just made that general comment, the guy that was inspecting the apartment. So obviously, this issue, people were aware of it, they know now it's the state or whoever it is that investigates, you know, approves the apartments and stuff. But they told me, oh, no, you can't drink the water in here. I've been here 10 years.
Who was the inspector that
I
told
don't
you
know
that?
what the gentleman's name was.
And that's not somebody from our agency, that's from John
No,
D'Amelio.
his name was Maritza.
That's false
Okay.
information, because we had the water, I mean, we didn't have it tested throughout the complex, but we tested it in that one building. And it was safe for drinking.
Well, building two-
And that's why I provided the whole building with the letter.
Okay,
So we've been spending money on bottled water because you're afraid to drink the stuff that's.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take somebody's word for it that, you know what I mean, unless you check with management. You never got anything from management saying it was unsafe for drinking, right?
No, just I was doing the inspection to tell me that my apartment is not safe or is safe.
Yeah, I don't know how he gave you that information. I would always call our office to verify that, because we've never been told, we've never told anybody that or been told.
Story anyway, if I did.
Yeah,
so one last thing, I guess it was 6, 8 years ago when I first moved. Oh, no, when I first moved into the remodeled apartment. I was testing the water, and I brought it to Bernice was here, actually. I brought it to her attention, brought it to your attention, and I went down and investigated it through the water company itself. There is an issue. Now, I'm not saying that it's housing because they're not the supplier. I'm saying that there is an issue with the way they backflush this complex because of the input and the input of the main trunk line. So they can't really backflush like they should be able to. So you might want to talk to them and say, hey, how can we rectify it? It must have been something a long time ago with the water towers that were here that have since been disconnected. So now we can't do a proper backflush through here. So I think it runs into expense because they're gonna have to pull the main trunk lines that come through this town to supply the lines going to the apartments. And then it was left at that. It was left that way. I presented it and it was left that way. It's gonna cost a ton of money. Yeah, it's gonna cost a ton of money because of the engineering that was involved. So that's what my point is. I mean, we're all pointing fingers to everybody. Get to the root of the problem. Get to the basic root of the problem. And that's not us. That shouldn't be us. It shouldn't be us. It should be housing. And housing should go after the water company and say, hey, why isn't this rectified? That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And if it is, we should get it retested, because we have had it tested before. We should get it retested and then get it from an independent source, maybe 2 independent sources to have it corrected, you know, and then we put the rest, the problem. But there is a problem with holes, and we all know that. We all know that.
A problem with mold and water?
Water in the buildings, Chris, and you know it, and I know it.
Okay, I thought we were talking about water. Now we're talking, are we talking about water still?
We're talking about the whole complex.
Okay.
The whole- As far as mold goes, yeah. And that's unfortunate because of the shortcuts that were taken in the prior remodel. The prior remodel where they were shortcutting and changing contractors. It's an entire mess. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Well, everyone's taken the unit in the corner of their apartment has
Now,
a,
wait a minute, excuse me, what was it? I heard some comment about paying for it.
I'm sorry?
Somebody made a comment about paying for it?
Who said that?
No.
No. okay.
Nobody here said that.
No.
Yeah.
I
so
said
think-
that-
I think it's something that was, I think it's been neglected since.
You're
before.
hearing it.
yeah. As I was saying, the Dakin in your apartment has a dehumidifier mode. So if there is, humid or a lot of groundwater, you can run that. It also, in the summertime, it's almost like an air
That
conditioner.
doesn't fix the problem. My point is, it is not to fix the problem. You've got to go to the base to fix the problem. The base is before that. The problem is before the apartment. It's before, it's the water line, it's the way it's set up. And it's because they did changes. And if you go back into the history, you'll find that it was a big kerfuffle when they took those water towers down a long time ago. So that was just, that's just something that.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
we'll go on.
You're welcome.
Who else? Anybody else have questions?
I do.
Okay.
My last one. Lori Jackson, your liaison. Just wanted to say thank you for the last 10 years for me helping you guys out as much as I can and being part of Oak Terrace is one of my babies and I love coming here. I'm gone for now, but I'm not gone forever. I'll still be around. I'm still gonna be bringing my mom to all the meetings because she's not driving right now. So I'm still being involved. I can still help you out. And, I'm always gonna be here for you all, okay? And also welcome, Matt, to
Thank you
the
so much.
General
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
You're gonna do well. And Terry, thank you for all the years. We go way back when I was a commissioner and you were on, 10 years before I was Burgess, so 27 years. So thank you for all that you did too. And Art too, you did well as well. So thank you. And everybody, don't forget, November 2nd election, no parking over here. I'm gonna be working over here, so try to abide by the parking because a lot of people will be coming in to vote, okay? But thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lori.
May I? Okay, I have to read it so I don't get emotional.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Trying to do it now. or you
Since I have put in more years than you, Terry, in the NHA, I want to thank you for the many years of service and the excellent service that you provided the members. You are a replaceable, my friend, as you were when we worked for Univoil. It was quite a while ago. For 20-some-odd years ago. Just to remember maybe I'll be next. Thank you.
Very nice.
All right,
Commissioner comment.
yes.
Yeah. I was wondering, are we going to be able to get the COVID booster shot?
We haven't heard about any clinics yet, because as far as what I understand is it has to be ordered by your doctor if you have any type of underlying conditions or weakened immune system. Right now, it's not available to the general public. So from what I've been told by Griffin is have everybody contact their provider and they'll direct them to whoever's doing the boosters.
Primary.
Yeah.
Right.
Primary care, contact them and they can put in an order for you to get that vaccine nearby.
Is anybody going
Hey,
to
and Christine,
Wait a minute, one at a time.
Christine, if we have old, things like old phones and, cameras, old things, how do we dispose of them?
Do you want to save them? I mean, are they good or you just want to throw them out?
Yeah, how do we?
Can I speak on that?
Yeah.
I know this Saturday, Ion Bank is having it on Haven Road. Any kind of electronics, anything you have, as long as you're not a resident, you could go on to Haven Road and bring whatever you have. You have printers, you have cameras, you have, you name it, they're gonna take any type of electronic, anything that you want to bring, TVs, whatever. As long as you live in Naugatuck, you could bring it over at Ion Bank on Haven
The
Road.
thing is, Lord, you'd have to have a car.
But if you're not, well, then I will come if you need it.
If
If you need me, I will, give me I'll give you my number and I'll pick it up. Okay, is that okay? 'Cause
And if
I-
it's something smaller, sister, you can put it out in your
No,
recycling.
that's a couple of boxes.
So,
Yeah,
I'll
and-
talk to you before I leave.
Yeah.
All right, so
And another thing, Christine, shredding, what do we do the last 3 years? All of like your documents
Mhm.
and personal bank accounts, things like that. We have no shredder up here. Is there a way we could get a truck up here? Shredder. to
I
get rid
could
of
see,
all
I
that
could see
stuff?
if, yeah, I don't know how that would work, yeah. Usually the banks do those because they have to set up a big mobile shredding unit, it's a big truck.
They have it in the newspaper, we just did ours.
I just did mine.
Yeah,
Last year, they didn't have it.
I know.
Because of the pandemic.
yeah, they'll probably have it again soon, and I'm sure HRD bus or whatever would bring it, would bring you down there to the, to do it, yeah.
And I did it, and I got a free bag.
Me too.
You did it
I did it.
recently, and
Couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of months.
where was it?
Ion
Ion
Bank,
Bank,
Haven
okay.
Road, yeah, Lori behind them.
Yeah, so, does the HRD bus goes up there, doesn't it?
How's she gonna carry those? She has a lot of stuff.
Saturday.
Sister, like, the HRD bus would bring you up there, I think. Oh, is it on Saturday?
HRD
bus.
Oh, HRD bus. Yeah, it's usually on a weekend.
Oh, it is, okay.
They don't.
Saturday,
yeah,
I'm going.
They
HRD
don't
buses
tell
don't run on
her.
Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and it, yeah, if it's not a lot, I could take it. What is it?
All right, anybody else?
Carol.
Regarding the third COVID shot, we can get it right aid.
Okay, perfect, Brady does it. Do you need a doctor's order?
No.
Okay,
Yes, I went out today and they say that you a training from your doctor, you go around and do it. I went out and did it. That's a good shot.
I didn't. She
You
didn't.
did?
How old are you?
67.
I call CVS.
I just went, I'm not quite 67, but I just went through this because you can, it depends on when you had your last shot. So it cannot,
Pension.
you can't, it has to be after 6 months for your last shot. So like myself, my last shot was in April. And so I become eligible Excuse me,
December?
this month. No, I'm sorry, this month, the 20th, October. So mine was April 20th, so 6 months would be, I think I saw you online. And then, so I'm available, I'm eligible October 11th, 20th. So that'll be 6 months. You have to, because I went to CBS
Okay.
and I went online and that's my personal experience. I don't,
But that was
Any
for
more
the
than that.
Pfizer though, right?
that was, yes, that was.
Because
And
Moderna, I
that's-
had the
yes.
Moderna, that's
I
not. they
called
don't know anything
CVS,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about, I'm not a professional, but I just know I'm trying to get mine, so that's all.
And I went at different hospital.
Yeah.
Goes on with it.
Chris, I was in touch with CVS because I had to take my other thing, and they said, call, and it's by appointment,
Mhm.
so you don't, all of it, it's not
I
something.
think it also depends on when
They
your
say
last shot, and
call
what
in,
kind it was,
and
right?
they'll
It
give you
does.
an appointment.
So maybe
And-
call the pharmacy
Then my
first.
other shots, the other two were Wesleyan, so it has nothing to do with wherever we got it before.
Okay.
CVS has a number you can call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I went out to Griffin Hospital out at the plaza. I was there when their hours were open. I walked in. I got my COVID shot, waited 15 minutes and walked out.
For the
You
booster?
do not need an appointment.
I guess,
It was
yeah,
good.
that's where you go.
You just have to check to see when they're
It
open.
just has to be, you have to be 6 months.
It was great.
You have to be 6 months, I know you have to be 6 months past your last time. So if, Helen's a few years older than me, she might have got her booster earlier than me, and so she qualified. But the other thing is you can get your flu shot at the same time,
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
so.
Any more public comments? Any more public comments?
You wanted to say something.
You have a question? We'll go commissioners' comments. So,
All right.
yeah,
I want to know how come when I called, I made a phone call to the police station last week because we had somebody in here impersonating a cop. And the officer came back to me and didn't do anything because he didn't have a blue one on like you, but I know you wear a black one. With the black pants and the black shirt and you wear the thing here.
Navy blue.
Yeah, this is what he's wearing. And even after the cop was called, he's still doing it.
Who's this?
I'll tell you after the name. Okay, but it's like 11 o'clock at night and then he's flashing flashlights, walking around the buildings and stuff, you know what I mean?
This is a police officer that's doing
No.
that?
This is somebody living in here that's doing
person here is doing it.
Did you call the police?
it. Yeah,
And what did the police say?
he told me because he didn't have that kind of uniform on, that he wasn't doing it. And I said, he's wearing the black uniform and he's putting his brother's badge on. His brother was a cop, he died, but he has his brother's badge.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you tell the police, won't they go to that person's apartment and investigate it? It's somebody that lives here?
He didn't have that on, so he didn't do nothing. And when I went to the
Did you
police
get the
station to get
cop's
the
name?
report, they blacked it all out. And he's still doing it.
Yeah. So you called the
Derek's
police
sitting
on
on
it?
it. Derek's sitting on
Check it out.
You know it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's, but I'll.
He's gonna investigate it. Okay. Thanks, Derek. Let us know. Please.
Make sure. Anything else?
Yes, I do.
Commissioner?
I would like to say, I think we all are very pleased to see our commissioner healthy enough to be here at our meeting. Hi, Joe.
Welcome back, Joan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Just about
Any other comments? Then I'll adjourn the meeting.
Oh,
Oh,
that's unusual for me. But I got a big head that bounces around. So, I'm having issues with the accessibility in for the water rooms.
6 o'clock.
okay?
The
It's
meeting
very
is-
hard to maneuver the wheelchair or even the
Well,
scooter.
wait a minute, you should have said this under public comment.
Well, I'm sorry. but
Well,
just
we're
remember-
already down to meeting adjournment.
Well, that's what you said, and I said, well, wait a minute.
No, that was the commissioner comments. We're already down to commissioner comments.
Well, yeah, it's under the commissioner.
The meeting is.
But I want to bring it up as an issue,
adjourned.
because it is, and it's been an issue for years. And it's not only me, it's other people. And other people that have passed had an issue. And I was wondering if there was any chance to make it accessible for wheelchairs, and this one and other ones, and give enough room. Ramps getting in, there's a bunch of issues, getting over the lift,
Can you write
getting over the
that?
lift and to get into the room and stuff like that. So
Just to-
I think it should be addressed, and that's the end of that
Can
comment.
you
When we bring it up,
Can
when
you
I-
write- can- I mean, can you just write down what they say?
Meeting is adjourned.
No, I understand it, it's just to get it.
No,
yeah.
and it's,
That we'll look into it.
Yeah, just look at it.
we weren't adjourned for the except today, except-
All right, we're gonna look into it.
Yeah. make a-
Well, yeah,
make a
okay.
motion.
Okay, we got it. It's really-
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:02 PM.
And who seconded
I
it?
didn't-
I do, Joe.
We're on, we're on, we're on.
Thank you,
Right.
I gotta go to Parks and Rec, so you're gonna hang here for a little bit. You guys be here for a little bit while I can just lock up right away? Does this lock up right away? If I leave her here for a little bit?
Yeah, once we're done, but I can wait.
Yeah, I just gotta run down to Parks and Rec, right down the street, and then I'll be back. Huh? All right, is that all right, Chris? I'm just gonna be back because it's in public today, so not on Zoom, so I want to just go quick. I have 2 complaints that people told me about, and I'm back.
asking about you, but everyone disappeared. You look wonderful. You do look really good, but I'm not. Huh? Yeah, but I'm not playing cards at all. I don't play cards at all. No.
They don't have it open.
Well, I know, Ed called me, wanted to know if I was gonna play cards, so they were trying to get everybody